Hello, Tommy.
Hey, Katt, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yes, I can hear you just fine.
Oh, great. I have you on speakerphone, so if it gets difficult, just let me know and I'll go on regular.
Absolutely, I have speakerphone too.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. This is such a great honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Aw, that's really sweet. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, going back in time, I was reading that you were writing plays early on in your childhood and directing plays in your backyard. How did that start?
I wanted to make money, and you know what? I don't know. I think about that a lot. Kind of like, are we predetermined to do these things? I don't know. But I was writing plays and directing them and casting kids in the neighborhood. And then I would charge their parents the whopping amount of $5 to come and see their kid in the play. And to me at the time, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was very monetarily motivated because I didn't get an allowance. And I was like, every other kid gets an allowance, and I didn't get an allowance, and I needed money. So I went to work early, and I've been doing the same thing ever since, which is really crazy, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Were you the kid that sat in the back of the class writing all the time?
Not so much. I mean, I was the kid that was kind of made fun of and everything. So
Same here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had to kind of find my own way. I didn't have a lot of friends. People didn't want to be friends with the kid who gets made fun of. And so that was really it. I didn't have friends. I, could write stuff. And, so it started with plays. And I wasn't interested in the camera at all. And then suddenly I became really interested in cameras. And I had to have an SLR. And I managed to get a used one. And I started taking pictures of everything. And in black and white and all these art photos. So it was kind of hilarious. Like, I look back at it now, I see my art photos. And they are pretty artistic. It's kind of funny. But it was all about the camera angle and the composition.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Did you get involved in school plays and community theater?
No, I mean, I really didn't. I was the outsider, so I didn't get involved in any stuff like that. Mine was all, independently produced.
You graduated with honors at the University of Michigan. What were you studying there?
I was studying psychology and education. So I did not go to film school at the University of Michigan. Ironically, it's very funny because I've given a lot of thought to why Roger Corman gave me my start. And I realized that a lot of it had to do with the fact that I graduated from the University of Michigan, which is considered like public Ivy. Mm-hmm. And that really was important to Roger was Ivy League schools, good schools. And I didn't realize it at the time, but that was a big part of why he let me direct for him back in the day, because I didn't go to film school. My film school was being cast in crappy movies, and some not so crappy movies, like I was in Scarface and Psycho 3.
Yeah.
That was my education, because I got to be on set and watch what was going on and watch what the director was doing and watch what the cinematographer was doing. And I got to ask them questions, not all the time, because it's hard to tap Brian De Palma on the shoulder when he's shooting Scarface. and the most difficult. I was in the most difficult shot in the movie, with the mirrors and the club and everything, and he was just tearing his hair out. I think that he didn't get the shot off for a full week, and then then he finally shot it on Friday at 5:00, and so I was there for an entire no-shot week, and I think it was Universal's first no-shot week.
Yeah.
And, so it's a little hard to tap him on the shoulder and ask him about, what he was doing.
Yeah.
But he was actually really kind because I did get to do that. I did get to ask him questions. And he was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't do it excessively because I'm sure he wouldn't have been happy with that, but it was pretty cool. And I worked with some really good cinematographers at the time too. So being able to ask them for information about why they were shooting something a certain way or what they were doing was really cool.
Yeah. Did you get any advice from Anthony Perkins on Psycho 3?
Yeah, Anthony actually was great. He was very open.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was very, very helpful. He was open about the stress of directing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was very stressful on him. He was acting and directing it, which is really difficult. I mean, I tried that for one small scene in Carrie 2, in the Rage Carrie 2, and it was like, oh my God, I never want to do this again. And he did it for a starring role, so, yeah. So it was pretty, yes, he was very open about that. So that's what I found out. Directing is very stressful, and don't try to act in it if you're directing.
Yeah, because I heard him say in an old interview he kind of regretted directing Psycho 3 because he felt like he was limited in his technical knowledge. Did you see that from him?
He had a great passion for what he was doing. And I think, directing is very intimidating. You have to be so sure of yourself all the time because everybody's watching and following the leader here. So if you look like you're unsure at any point, it can be sort of detrimental to the production, which encourages a lot of fake behavior because nobody's sure of themselves all the time, and it's actually really complex. So I don't know. I like the way Anthony was because he was like, oh my God, this is, but he was doing his thing, and I think he did a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's kind of sad that directors are held up to such incredible scrutiny when they're just trying to, do a piece of art. No other artist is held up to that kind of scrutiny. It's like, we're allowed to sort of screw up, start over, and do all kinds of things. So.
Yeah. It could be unfortunate.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah, it could be very unfortunate, especially when someone's a genius and they don't know it.
Yeah, but there's millions of dollars at stake, so that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you transition from acting to directing?
Well, I don't see. It was kind of always in me, from the very beginning that I was directing plays. You know what I mean? In my backyard, it was like I didn't act in those plays. But when I got to LA, I started auditioning, and I thought this is a really good way of understanding what actors go through. But I'd never really considered myself an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like spying on the world of actors. And so, you know, if I got cast in anything, I was kind of in shock about it. So I got on set, though, and really tried to absorb everything I could about the process of making movies. And that was great. I acted in a movie for Roger Corman, and the lead actress was kind of difficult, actually. And so I guess I don't know. I don't remember this, but Roger told me this, and somebody else told me this, that I sort of stepped in and was helping the director and working with the actress. And it's hard for me to remember doing this, but I guess I was. And I got through it. And when I came back, Roger cast me in another movie in the Philippines. And I shot some second unit on that movie. So, I mean, it seems really odd that the director was Cirio Santiago let me shoot some second unit. I think that maybe to get me out of hair because I'm always asking questions. Probably that was it.
Yeah.
And, so I shot some second unit. I hung out on sets a lot. I had this idea that I got very inspired by for a movie called Strip to Kill. And I managed to get Roger on board with it, with me directing. So it took a long, long time, though. I mean, it was really difficult, and it took a lot of convincing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read it took over a year to convince him to let you direct Strip to Kill.
Yes. It wasn't so much the directing. I think he was almost on board with the directing early on, which is surprising. But it took me over a year to convince him to pull the trigger on it, because he was really afraid. This was before the movie The Crying Game. Mm-hmm. He was really afraid that there was no way that I could pull off a guy playing a girl and being a stripper. You know, those elements just did not click in his head, and he thought it would be a bust. So it took a long time for me to convince him that it would work. And, it's not like I was in the office I didn't work in the office. So, I mean, I had to send him pictures and stuff. So I'm sending it in the mail, in the snail mail. I'm sending him pictures of guys, that could do it as strippers. And then also because I was on Psycho 3, this was just amazing, like such a fortuitous situation. Mike Westmore was my makeup artist.
Oh, yeah.
You know about Mike Westmore?
The legendary Westmore family.
Yeah, I mean, he did the prosthetics for Raging Bull. He's amazing. And here, this guy's doing my mascara. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, well, he did the prosthetic neck, too. But, I mean, like, he's doing my makeup. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I asked him, I said, would you, we became friends. She's become friends with the makeup people. And I said, would you write a letter to Roger Corman saying that these prosthetic breasts can be made and that they'll look real? And he goes, I'll do better than that. I'll do it for you for cost. He goes, I'll tell him I'll make the prosthetic breasts for cost. And so Mike Westmore wrote a letter to Roger, and it was a process. It was just a long process of convincing him that it was actually doable. But I think that in that process of me, just sort of hanging in there and showing him all this stuff and, kind of proving it, he has got greater confidence in me as a filmmaker as well. Because he figured, like, if I could convince him to do it, that maybe I could actually make the movie, too.
Yeah. Is it true that you gave the strippers acting lessons in your own home?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
Yes, they were my first acting students, and I'm still doing that now.
Yeah.
like actors that are, you know, in movies and on TV shows, and things like that. So it's really great. It's a great honor to work with them.
That's awesome. How was working with Kay Lenz?
Oh, she was wonderful. Really, really. And Greg Evigan was they're just lovely people.
Norman Fell.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No complaints on the cast here.
In the second one, you worked with my good friend Deborah Lamb.
Oh, really? That's so cool.
Oh, yeah. Deborah's been on here 4 times. Our second podcast gets a lot of views on YouTube because we spent 80 minutes talking about masturbation.
Well, that's Deborah.
Yep, that's Deborah. That is Deborah, yes. We can't do...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we can't do those anymore because she's back with her husband. But go ahead.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Okay. Oh, they were wild girls, you know. I mean,
yeah.
They were, you know, I mean, I found them in clubs around LA, and they were the absolute best, you know, dancers, show people. They were amazing. But they were wild girls. There's no question about that. And Debbie was so cute because she had braces on her teeth.
Oh,
I mean, I think that was one of the reasons that I cast her was because, you know, here she is, this exotic dancer, and she's got braces on her teeth. It's just kind of adorable.
Yeah, she's very adorable. I love her. And then you did Dance of the Damned. What was your fascination with strip clubs during this period?
It wasn't my fascination. It was Roger Corman's fascination.
Okay.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. Strip to Kill made a lot of money, like a lot of money for Roger. I think it brought New Horizons back. And New Horizons was not doing as well at that time. And it single-handedly brought things to a whole different level. So Roger was very sold on strippers. And then from then on, it's like a stripper had to be in every movie. So
yeah.
I didn't mean for that to happen. That was not my intention.
Well, too, I mean, it was a social comment on LA's underworld during that time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't really make movies like that anymore. I mean, at that time, it's just, I don't know, it felt right. But now, you know, I make like PG-rated movies.
Well, well, you know, I think it's been played to death. You know, the whole stripper scenario.
Oh, without a doubt, and I'm sorry about that. I apologize to the entire world.
You weren't the only one. So many people made those.
Yeah, I did it first.
Yeah, you started it off. You busted the cherry of it.
And I stand by my apology.
Then you did Streets.
Mm-hmm.
That was a commentary on prostitution.
Right.
Yeah. How did you go about getting Christina Applegate?
Oh, God, she was amazing. You know, I mean, she's a really, truly fine actress. The world knows now.
Yeah, at that time she was trying to break into movies because she was on Married with Children at the time. And she did Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Right. And which, you know, nobody would know she could act for that. So I think Streets was very fulfilling for her. I wish that it had gotten better distribution and been seen.
Mm-hmm. What's the origin of Poison Ivy?
Melissa Goddard, this was a story that happened to her. And she pitched it to Andy and myself. Andy Rubin, who co-wrote it with me. And we just, I don't know, we were just really intrigued by it. And I don't know what happened there, but it was a really special sort of chemistry between everybody to make that movie happen.
Yeah.
Make it as special as it was.
Was there an influence of Stanley Kubrick's Lolita?
I don't know. I mean, not consciously. It's not like I studied it or anything like that, but it is a similar story.
Yeah.
I would say no, but it is in our cultural consciousness, so I don't know if no is actually that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I see little flourishes of that and a little bit of Fatal Attraction and Basic Instinct, which was out at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, interesting you should say Fatal Attraction, because when I met with New Line, when Andy and I met with New Line, what they told us they wanted was a teenage Fatal Attraction.
Mm-hmm. And
but, I mean, you always take that with a grain of salt, because
right.
I mean, what filmmaker wants to make a movie that's like something else? None of us do.
Yeah.
We want to make something really original and mind-blowing. So, but you have these parameters, and you have to work with studios and with others, and be respectful of what they are going for, and what they are trying to accomplish as well. And then do your artistic best for everybody, including yourself.
Yeah. With Drew, she was going through like a rebellious phase by that point, right?
Oh, I think she's already been through that. She was really, nobody even knew what Drew looked like at that point. She had just disappeared from the public eye. And, I mean, everybody just knew the story, Drew's story, but really, they didn't know, what she was up to, what she looked like, anything like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting to see her as this gorgeous young woman, because she was a kid. The last time anybody had seen her,
yeah,
she wasn't like Brooke Shields or something. She wasn't like this gorgeous, super gorgeous child.
No.
She was a kid. She looked like a kid. And so when she came out in Poison Ivy and she's this gorgeous creature, I mean, I think that was really kind of amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a complete left turn, I mean, I think it's difficult for anybody to, carry a famous name, like Barrymore, and then, have to have all these expectations thrown on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I think she had to be an adult so far before her time, and that's such pressure.
But she came out of it just fine. I mean, look at her.
Yeah, I think she's doing really well now.
Yeah, I wish she would act more, but yeah, she's done very well for herself.
It's interesting you should say that, because I asked her to be in Nancy Drew in The Hidden Staircase.
Yeah.
To play the aunt, but she was busy with something else. I don't think she was available, but I would have, I really wanted her to do that.
That's great. I mean,
she's been incredibly supportive,
mm-hmm.
and that's really lovely.
Yeah, that's good that you asked her at least. How did you go about casting Cheryl Ladd?
Cheryl came in and read for the part, and when she read, I was just blown away. And honestly, I knew before she walked out of the door I wanted her to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Tom
She just
Skerritt.
was so right for it, you know.
Yeah. And Tom Skerritt, oh my God, one of the best.
Yeah.
My uncle actually
It
lives
was,
near him in Washington.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
I said my uncle actually lives near him in Washington.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sees him on the island all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was really important, you know, that you understood him as Daryl in Poison Ivy, you know.
Yeah.
But this man actually really loved his wife, and she was gone from him. She was just somewhere else. And so Ivy, you know, could get that foothold because she looked like her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She was reminiscent of the woman he loved, and as bad as what he did is, you kind of vaguely understand it.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be big then?
Honestly, yeah, I really did. Because I'll tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I saw so many kids for that part, and it was a speaking part at the time. And Leo came in, and I just went, oh my God, this kid's got to be in the movie. I don't even care if he's right for the part. Honestly, that's how strong it was. I just went, oh yeah. You know, I don't know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to cut him out either. It was New Line. New Line made me cut him out. And I'm going to say that to whoever asked me because it's the truth. And it was a big mistake. They made me cut out his line. He's still in it, but he doesn't realize.
Yeah. It's funny. I asked that question quite frequently. If somebody they worked with before they were famous, if they knew that they were going to be that big and stuff, right? And every once in a while, I'll hear, no, you never know that stuff, right? But when I hear that, it's jealousy, in my opinion.
No, you know what? I don't think you usually know it, but I knew it the second he walked in the door. I just went, oh God, I don't care where I put him, but he's in my movie. Yeah. And you never do that. That is like, I don't think I've ever done that before.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Yeah.
With anybody. They had to, you know, like they had to jump through hoops. So I would be sure, you know, because you want to be sure. You don't want to make a mistake. You know what I mean? In casting. Oh, God, you make a mistake in casting and you really sunk. So you want to be very, very sure. So that's why you put them through hoops, not because it's fun to put people through hoops. I don't want you to think that. It's not fun.
No.
But with Leo, oh my God, I was just like, no, the casting director was like, doesn't even know what's going on, and I was like, oh my God. It was the same thing with Cheryl Lazo. Like, she came in and read for that, and I went, she's it. She's Georgie. But, you know.
Mm-hmm. And Sarah Gilbert, she was on Roseanne at the time.
Yeah, we wrote it for Sarah. I mean, she didn't know we were writing for her, but she was in my head the whole time. And then we got her, which is unbelievable, because that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. You admired her work, and so you wrote this part for her.
Yeah, I mean, we just had her in our head when we were writing. That was the girl. You know, she was Cooper.
You knew she could play something dramatic as opposed to the comedy on Roseanne.
Yeah, well, you never know. You know what I mean? And she was really nervous about it. But, you know, I had confidence in her.
How did?
She was nervous about it, so yeah.
Yeah. How did the Rage Carrie 2 come about?
That came about because of Jeff Kleeman, who is the vice president at United Artists, who has been a fan of mine for a long time, and I so appreciate Kleeman. I'm just so grateful for his support. He had tried to get me movies to direct many times. male in a male-dominated business made it really, really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, like people would see my movies and they would go, oh, yeah, this is the director, let's do it. And then they would meet me and, oh, my God, I was a, you know, what, you know,
Yeah.
and some guy would get the job. So that happened to me. I mean, you know, Poison Ivy was really a phenomenon when it came out. And I got phone calls from every studio head in Hollywood. You know, I mean, it was really dizzying, the response that Poison Ivy got. You know, it went to Sundance. It looked like it was running neck and neck with Reservoir Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, a whole different movie won the Sundance. But anyway, it was just sort of, you know, amazing. Something I didn't really expect. But I thought it would turn into another movie at least.
Yeah.
And I didn't work for 6 years.
Wow.
So people say, oh, you know, do you really think being female has anything to do with it? And fuck yes, it has something to do with it. You know what I mean? If I had been a guy, it would have been working.
Yeah.
You know, what happened was United Artists had gone into production on The Rage Carrie 2, and it wasn't going well, and they were going to shut it down. And Jeff Kleeman called me and he said, it looks like we're going to shut down this movie unless you want to go in and direct it. Which is very funny because I had the reputation of, you know, making really low-budget movies look like high-budget movies.
Right.
And so they had shot for 2 weeks, so a lot of the budget was shot. And, you know, I went in and I met with Lindsay Duran, who was a lovely person who was the president of UA at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank Mancuso was the president of MGM, the parent company.
Right.
And, you know, I just ended up on the set shooting. You know, I flew in on Thursday and I was shooting on a Monday morning. And I'd rewritten the script from the plane on the way over. So it was really wild and scary, but pretty amazing, too.
Yeah, were you
I love that movie. I love it like it's my own child, you know.
Yeah, of course. Were you a huge fan of the original?
Oh, yeah.
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 It's the best.
I identified with, you know how I told you I was the kind of kid everybody made fun of and the outcast. I identified with it. So, yeah, it was very powerful in my experience.
Yeah, the original is such a landmark classic. And Amy Irving, I was reading, was reluctant to come back for this one.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. You know, she didn't share that with me.
But Sissy Spacek turned it down.
Yes. But interestingly enough, I wanted to use footage from the original Carrie,
Mm-hmm.
The Rage, and Sissy Spacek just said flat no. And then I asked if she would watch the footage that we had, if she'd watch a rough cut of it, and she watched it and said she liked it, and then she agreed to allow us to use her footage and cut it in to the flashback. So that was really nice.
Yeah, that was like during the time, you know, Robert Zemeckis was doing that stuff, you know, with Forrest Gump and everything. And now there's so much more advanced CGI that it seems like everybody can do it now.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, I mean, when we went digital, everything changed. It's phenomenal. The things that you can do now, I mean, even in the editing room, the effects that can be achieved are just amazing. And if you've got a good assistant editor,
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, they can do stuff in the editing room that, we never dreamed we could do.
Mm-hmm. The burnt down high school, that was actually a yarn factory, right?
I believe so, yeah. But they never tore down. It's funny because people comment like, "Oh my God, that's the high school, and they never tore it down."
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Well, they never tore down this yarn factory either, which had been there like 20 years or something. So that's for real.
Did you hear from Stephen King after the movie was released?
No. I know that Stephen King gave it his blessing, though. Much appreciated.
Hopefully he liked it.
Yeah.
Now, last.
I hope so. I mean, but he's such a cool guy. He's always so cool about other people's work.
Yeah.
Always so supportive. So incredibly supportive of other people's work.
Although he didn't like Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining, and that's why he had to have it remade.
That's pretty wild, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I mean,
Kubrick and everything, It's kind of funny.
Yeah, in the Kubrick version, it's different from the book, but it made a great movie nevertheless,
Yeah. No, it's a great movie. I mean, it's very well loved, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So last year you had Nancy Drew and the Hidden Staircase out, and how did that come about to you?
Interestingly enough, Jeff Kleeman again. He just gave my manager a call and asked if I would come in and meet regarding Nancy Drew. And I read the script and went in and met for it. And it's exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, my manager actually completely lost faith in me.
Oh.
Because I would turn down every horror movie that was offered. Even if they not offered, but they would just want to meet with me about it. And I was like, well, how many people get killed? How positive is it? Are they positive? It's like, I don't even want to read the script. And I said, I don't want to read the script. I'm sorry. So there was not a great deal of faith in me at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I did end up going on the meeting, and I was just really excited by it. It's exactly what I wanted to do. And I had lots of ideas for it, the energy of it, and the pace, and the look of it, and the feel of it, and all that kind of great stuff. And so I think they were kind of overwhelmed and went, yeah, I guess we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you shot that up in Georgia. Was that the first time you had shot in Georgia?
It is the first time I shot in Georgia. I've shot in the South before. The Rage Carrie 2 was in South Carolina and North Carolina. So they're right next door. But it was the first time in Georgia. It was a great experience.
Yeah, everybody's
really
shooting
great.
in
It was a really great experience. Actually, the crew was phenomenal.
Yeah, everybody's shooting in Georgia now because of the tax in L.A.
Yeah.
How did you get Linda Lavin?
She wanted to do it. We sent her the script. I don't know whose idea it was for Linda.
Yeah.
But we sent her the script, and she came down. And it was a little awkward at first, honestly.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have a feel for the character yet, and I was already shooting. So it was like a lot, it's a lot of fast communication, but finally what happened is we took her to the house,
Mm-hmm.
her house, and then she got it. She totally got who the character was. I was trying to do a lot of explaining, and she just wasn't feeling it,
Yeah.
But once she went to the house and she felt that house, that house is incredible. The way the production design is just really great, and the colors and just the energy of the whole thing. once she got that, she just got it. And that was wonderful.
I mean, she's an icon. She's Alice, you know? It's
Yeah.
it's great that she was working again. You know, I haven't seen her in anything in a long, long time.
Yeah, well, she's a Broadway treasure, you know?
Absolutely. So how long have you been
Seen her.
Yeah.
She sings cabaret and all that kind of stuff. She's really a talent. You know, I remember back in the day, way before Alice, I had a friend who was producing TV shows, and he said to me about Linda Lavin, she's a real talent. And this was before Alice, and this was because of her Broadway work. So, and I remembered that forever. I mean, I was like 20 years old when that was said to me. And I remembered it, and I told Linda, I remember this friend of mine telling me this, you know, so many years ago before Alice about you. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. So how long have you been teaching acting for?
Oh, since that day I had the strippers in my living room. No, you know what? It's been on and off since then, honestly. But it always draws me because I love watching actors get significantly better in a very short period of time. And that's what I did.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I helped them get significantly better and freed up and alive and spontaneous and all that stuff in a very short period of time.
Wow, that's wonderful.
That's what's fun about it. It's really fun about it. In fact, I have a session in 20 minutes.
Yeah, you probably get a satisfaction teaching that you don't get directing or, of course, acting.
Well, I mean, I get a lot of satisfaction directing. It's really fun. I'm like a duck in water. Honestly, you know, when I look at pictures of me on the set directing, I cannot believe how relaxed I look. I look like I'm not doing anything. I look like I have my feet up, you know? And I think it's because it's just so natural to me, which is weird to say because there's a lot of pressure and there's decisions to be made every second. And I feel like I'm constantly busy. And, you know, from the time I get up in the morning till I go to bed at night, and then I'm dreaming about it all night, too. But when I look at pictures of me, I look more relaxed than any other time. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Is there a film that you hope to make when the pandemic is over?
Yes. I am talking with Netflix about doing something right now, and I hope it comes to fruition. But I can't tell you anything about it.
Yeah.
Well, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
But it's PG. It's rated PG. Nobody gets killed in it.
Well, I hope that movie...
Feel good.
Yeah. Well, I hope that movie comes to fruition, and that's so great that you love teaching and you're able to do it during the pandemic virtually.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. I actually love it. And if anyone would like to come to class, it's online. It's really great that it's online because, like, everything's online these days. I mean, it's crazy. I know a manager who moved to Canada because, you know, it's in the same time zone and you don't have to be here anymore. So the really cool thing is all auditions are going to be online, all meetings, all callbacks, all chemistry reads, everything is online. And so now people really need to learn how to do that. So it's a whole new world, and it's really kind of fun now. I'm teaching that. You know, like super fun.
Katt, thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, thanks, Tommy. I appreciate it. I feel like I talked a lot.
Well, they want to hear you, not me.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your interest. Thanks for contacting me. And and pursuing it. I know you had to do it more than once.
Well, stay safe and keep on doing what you love.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Katt Shea. Ain't she a sweetheart? Wow. Very insightful, intelligent, passionate lady. And I'm glad she loves what she does. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!